Just recently, OPEC, the group of major oil-producing countries, made a decision that could have a major impact on your wallet. They've decided to cut oil production, and experts are warning it could trigger another oil shock. But what exactly is OPEC, and how will their decision affect gas prices and the global economy? That's what we're going to explore in this video. Ever wondered why the price at the pump seems to fluctuate so wildly? Well, a big part of the answer lies with a group of countries you might not even know about. OPEC, which stands for the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Imagine OPEC as a kind of club for some of the world's biggest oil producers, like Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and Nigeria. These countries hold a vast amount of the world's oil reserves. Now picture this club having a big say in how much oil gets pumped out of the ground. That's exactly OPEC's power. Why is this important? Because oil is like the lifeblood of the global economy. It fuels our cars, heats our homes, and powers countless industries. So, when OPEC decides to crank up production, oil becomes more abundant and prices tend to go down. On the other hand, if they decide to cut back, oil becomes scarcer, pushing prices way up. Think of it like supply and demand. If there's a lot of oil on the market, high supply, the price goes down. But if there's less oil available, low supply, competition for that oil drives the price way up. OPEC, by controlling a significant chunk of the world's oil supply, has a major influence on this entire equation. OPEC's decisions don't just affect the price of oil itself. Since oil is used in so many things, a rise in oil prices can have a ripple effect throughout the entire economy. Transportation costs go up, which can lead to higher prices for goods on store shelves. Manufacturing costs can rise too, making everything from clothes to electronics more expensive. That's why what OPEC decides is a big deal for everyone, not just drivers filling up their tanks. All right, so we now know OPEC is a powerful group that can influence oil prices by controlling production. But what exactly did they do recently? Well, buckle up, because their decision has some folks worried about an oil shock 2.0. In a nutshell, OPEC decided to extend their current production cuts. This means member countries will continue to pump out less oil than they potentially could. While the exact details can get complicated, the basic idea is that less oil hitting the market could lead to, you guessed it, higher prices. But why would OPEC do this? There are a couple of possible reasons. One possibility is that they're trying to keep oil prices from plummeting. Maybe they see signs of slowing economic growth around the world, which could lead to less demand for oil. By cutting production, they can try to maintain a price level that benefits their oil-reliant economies. Another reason could be pure geopolitics. Perhaps there are tensions brewing between some OPEC members and other countries. By limiting oil production, they could be trying to exert some economic muscle on the world stage. So, OPEC's decision to cut production has some folks worried about a repeat of the 1970s oil shocks, a period of skyrocketing gas prices and economic turmoil. But how likely is this scenario, and what kind of impact could it have? Remember, OPEC's move restricts oil supply, and when there's less supply, prices tend to go up. This could translate directly to filling up your car costing significantly more. Imagine that $7 a gallon we saw earlier becoming the norm, or even higher. But the pain wouldn't stop at the gas station. Oil is used to create so many things, from plastics to fertilizers. When the price of oil goes up, the cost of producing those things goes up too. This can lead to a phenomenon called inflation, where the overall price of goods and services rises. Suddenly, everything from your groceries to your electricity bill could cost more. Transportation costs, heavily reliant on oil, would likely increase. This could impact everything from shipping to trucking, potentially leading to supply chain disruptions and even shortages of certain goods. Remember the toilet paper shortage at the beginning of the pandemic? A severe oil price hike could create similar disruptions across various industries. OPEC's decision has the potential to be a major economic headache. It could lead to higher gas prices, inflation, and disruptions across various sectors. While it might not be a full-blown oil shock 2.0, it's definitely a situation worth keeping a close eye on. All right, so the news isn't all doom and gloom. While OPEC's decision might cause some bumps in the road, there are strategies both governments and individuals can use to lessen the impact. By implementing energy-efficient policies and adopting sustainable practices, we can better navigate these challenges and ensure a more stable future. Let's start with governments. One approach is through fuel subsidies. This is where the government helps offset the cost of fuel for consumers, essentially lowering the price at the pump. While this can provide some relief to the public, it's important to note that it can also be quite expensive for governments to maintain over the long term. Additionally, subsidies may encourage continued reliance on fossil fuels rather than promoting the transition to more sustainable energy sources. Another strategy is to focus on renewable energy sources. By investing in solar, wind, and other alternatives, governments can reduce reliance on traditional oil and eventually lessen OPEC's influence. This is a long-term solution, but it can create new jobs and pave the way for a more sustainable future. Now, what about us as individuals? While we can't control OPEC's decisions, we can take steps to reduce our reliance on gas and soften the blow of rising prices. Simple actions like using public transportation, carpooling, or opting for more fuel-efficient vehicles can make a significant difference in our daily lives. Carpooling with friends or colleagues is a great way to cut down on individual fuel consumption. Consider using public transportation if it's available and convenient. And for those shorter trips, maybe ditch the car altogether and walk, bike, or even scoot. Another option is to think about your next vehicle purchase. Fuel-efficient cars, hybrids, or even electric vehicles can significantly reduce your dependence on gas in the long run. These eco-friendly choices not only save money, but also contribute to a greener environment, making them a smart and responsible investment. All right, folks, let's recap. We explored OPEC's recent decision to cut production and its potential impact on gas prices and the global economy. While it might not be a full-blown oil shock 2.0, it's a situation that could lead to higher gas prices, inflation, and disruptions across various industries. The good news is, there are ways to mitigate the impact. Governments can explore fuel subsidies and invest in renewable energy sources. As individuals, we can carpool, use public transportation, choose fuel-efficient vehicles, and even explore alternative modes of transportation for short trips. Every action, big or small, can make a difference. Stay informed. Keep an eye on the news and developments related to OPEC and oil prices. Consider alternative transportation options and advocate for policies that promote energy independence in your community. By working together, we can navigate this situation and pave the way for a more sustainable future. Thanks for joining. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content on energy, economics, and the ever-changing world around us.